Escape from Tarkov's PVE Christmas event or holiday event has of course been underway, but there is one specific thing that we've been farming for a couple of hours now to be able to get this video done, and it is essentially a fantastic way for anyone who plays PVE to make a ton of money and also get yourself towards some of the stuff that you might want from the Christmas tree at the exact same time. We did a video detailing a good run to be able to get baubles, but this one is also going to generate you some money, as well as looking at some of the brand new, or at least new at the moment, firework signal cartridges which are used in order to get Christmas airdrops, which feature a whole host of different items. And in terms of the run itself, we'll break it down now for you. Make sure to like this video if you like Escape from Tarkov PVE, and of course subscribe down below if you want to see more from PVE mode. Now, this particular run can be done on either a PMC or a scav, so you can pick either one. It doesn't really matter. The only differences are that as a scav, you have easier extracts to be able to get out of the raid directly after you've completed your run, which for most people is going to be the thing that is most beneficial. You want to spend the least amount of time in your raids, and also the fact that, you know, anyone can use a scav, and so it's just easier to showcase in the video, which is why we ran it as a scav in terms of a PMC. Obviously, if you're comfortable playing on a PMC, which I would normally do, and we did do quite a few runs as a PMC, it's just for the sake of the video, we did 5 runs as a scav. But yeah, choose whichever one you want to play. Now, the map that we're playing is, of course, Customs. Customs has, of course, the Christmas Village, which is the first stop that you're going to do on the run. This means that essentially what you can do is farm up the entire Christmas village. You have salads, you have Christmas baubles or decorations, whatever you want to call them. You also then have, for example, some rare items, gold chains. You can find yourself bitcoins and stuff like that as well. Now, dependent on where you actually spawn, for example, if you spawn at the trailer park, you can hit up a individual Christmas tree, not at the village, that is inside one of the containers, and then you can make your way over to the village, which is where you're going to be able to get the majority of your loot, at least loose, in the actual game. And then, of course, from there, you can pick up cats, you can pick up some of the sugars, you can pick up condensed milks. There's all sorts of things that you can pick up within your raids at the Christmas Village. And, of course, you have a chance at getting yourself an actual present, which you can find under the tree. Now, once you've gone from there, I will typically take my way around the dorms area. Now, if you want to, you can hit up the Christmas tree in the center of the dorms between the 2 buildings. You don't have to, but it's somewhere that you can go. I didn't for any of the runs, since the amount of loot that we typically have on our scav is more than enough to fill up every single slot in our backpack anyway. So we don't need to go there, and it's more risky for the runs in terms of meeting PMCs. And also, if the goons have moved around during the map, which they can do, you potentially can get aggro by them, and then it's just curtains when you're using a terrible weapon like a scav weapon. Then, of course, we'll make our way across the train tracks through the gap in the fence on the other side of the dorms, which allows us to then run up to the radar tower. This is where the Santa's airdrop will come in, the Santa's sleigh. Now, Santa's sleigh has a big kind of Christmas event airdrop box that you can open completely for free and generates every single raid. So it's always there, guaranteed. Every single raid you will find the airdrop. And so you can loot up this area. Inside of there, you'll also find things like rigs, you can find armors, you can find headsets, you can find some of the top backpacks. And if you find those, especially as a scav, you can fill up that backpack, if you've got a smaller one, with the stuff that you've already got, and then loot up all of the extra stuff from that airdrop into that bag and take the bag, which is a really good way of kind of min-maxing the amount of money that you can bring out of the raid. And then on the floor around the sleigh, you can find things like bitcoins. I have found bitcoins on the floor there, we did in one of the raids, as well as things like cats. We're finding figurines, we're finding all sorts of rare loot around the sleigh. It's not guaranteed every single time, since you can find like condensed milk spawns all over, as well as like the sausages, that sort of stuff, the Christmas related items, but most of the times you're going to be able to find it Now from the sleigh you can turn directly around, and there is also a hidden stash that you can find underneath some bushes by the fence at the end of the map. So you can go over there and you can loot that up. It also has the possibility of rare items, as well as basically anything that you can find within a hidden stash, military power filters, all sorts of stuff that you will find potentially in a hidden stash. And then you can run your way all the way down to the military checkpoint, which is a transit location for a PMC and a scav extract location that you can use as well. And on the right hand side down as you're going down the hill, you can also find another hidden stash, which can obviously have the exact same sort of stuff that you'll find in the previous hidden cache. This is another great way to add some extra loot to your raids and possibility of rare items like bitcoins, graphics cards, all sorts within them. And of course then you just extract from the raid and then you're done. You can empty all of your stuff out of the raid. I highly recommend picking up all of the body armors and kit that you possibly can onto your scav, and then you can just sell that if you're not interested in keeping it anyway, as it will just buff up the total value of just selling everything that you have on your scav after you've taken out all of the loot. Now talking about loot, let's jump ahead into how much money we made from 5 different runs doing this exact method with absolutely no outlay cost. It didn't cost us anything to get all of it. Now jumping into the stash, what I did is I went ahead and bought a thick items case just for videos. Once again, running out of thick items cases because we have so much crud that we have within our stash. So I bought a new thick items case just for this video and for future ones. So in terms of the loot, this is what we got from 5 different raids. It looks like a lot. Most of it are in fact ornaments. Whether or not we can do that, you can see a lot of the ornaments are red ornaments. We've got quite a few purples and then a minimal amount of silver ornaments, which are the things that you're going to need for that LEDX potential when you do get it. You can see we got ourselves a Bitcoin right there, which was from the Santa's sleigh, and of course we got ourselves a firework as we spawned in on the scav, and then a red flare as well for a normal airdrop too, which is good, and we can use these in our raids going forward as a PMC even when we don't go and loot up the airdrop, or maybe we want to call in another airdrop. Either way, it's something that we can think of. Of course, a ton of vodkas, which are just from the Christmas village and around that, and within the actual airdrop itself. A load of figurines that we found on the floor around the airdrop, as well as pickles, and ourselves some salad, which we found at the Christmas village too. Of course, mayos and stuff like that, not worth a whole amount of money, but just extra filler items that we could just take anyway since we had space, and some other rare loot, as well as all of those cats and horses and gold chains that we found along the way too. 614,000 rubles as well. And so now it's time to go ahead and sell all of these items within this thick case, and I will tell you how much exactly we made in total in the amount of millions that we got. Right, so I have gone ahead and sold pretty much everything that we can sell, except from the ornaments, which we're going to keep obviously because we want to use them within our hideout to be able to use on the Christmas tree to get the LEDX and stuff like that. So obviously keeping those, but you can see the amount that we managed to get. A lot of the red, a decent chunk of silvers, which are the hardest ones to find, and then the purples, quite a few of those as well. We managed to net ourselves just shy of 7 million rubles, and in fact, because we've got 3 offers still running with a gas mask at 135, a mount for 62, and then a bottle of Jack Daniel whiskey for 59, we'll call it approximately 200k, even though, you know, it is actually worth more than that, just in case they do get down in price slightly and we have to sell them cheaper, you know, an additional 200k, so about 7.2 million rubles within that singular raid, within the 5 raids even. So 7.2 million divided by 5 gives us a total profit per raid on our scav of 1.44 million, and the actual run itself is approximately about 10 minutes, so you can do pretty much all of this within a singular hour, provided that you're quite efficient. You do have to wait to actually get into games as opposed to running it on a PMC, for example. You can miss out on loot because of the fact that you're playing on a scav, and if you don't get a backpack that's big enough, you can find that. We found that within one of the raids that we had, that we didn't have a decent enough size backpack to be able to, you know, get all of the loot that we possibly could, so it cost us rubles. But at the same time, 1.44 million just for simply doing 3 things pretty much within a raid: hitting the Christmas village, hitting the Santa's sled, and then essentially hitting up the hidden cache. And then of course, if you find yourself some extra Christmas trees along the way that you can pick up extra baubles and bits that are lying potentially around them, then yeah, you're going to be able to do that. And of course, now some of our stuff has sold, so we've got an additional 300k added in. So there you go, 7.3 million. So a really good decent run that I thought I'd showcase off to you guys. Of course, we also got the fireworks that we can use and the red flare, which will be used to be able to make even more money within a normal raid. So just adding extra value to our raids that we've already got. So you could count these as maybe 400k for the firework and then 200k for the red flare, but they're probably worth more than that, to be honest with you. So yeah, you're borderline about 1.6 million per raid just simply by running a scav, which I think is amazing considering how quick it is to do the run. Thank you very much for watching the video, and of course I will see you in the next one. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you there. Goodbye.